going to show a little bit of an experiment that I've been doing. And to be honest, it was an accidental one. It just never occurred to me. These are my basement fool around in the basement arrows. They're actually leftover arrows, actually arrows that I've broken, that aren't quite exactly what they once were, simply because they've been broken and I've cut them down. I have 10 of them and I've been refletching them in pink as I go. They're pretty beat. Like, for example, this one here has actually tape holding the nock on because that end is broken. And these are in rough shape. I have 10 of them. 5 of them are Carbon Express Heritage 150s and 500 spine. And then the others are gold tips, and they are also, they're 600 spine. 600 spine. So 500, 600. And I've been continuing my experiments, so this is also a bit of an update on the Nika experiments. And I'm only shooting 4 meters in my basement. And I shoot. And I'm noticing that, the arrows are looking pretty straight when they're hitting the butt. So I hung some painter's floor paper from my floor joists, and I started shooting through the paper. And I found that 6 of these arrows, because I'll be doing other experiments with other bows that I shoot here, that I'm experimenting with here in the basement. 6 of these arrows are very consistent going straight through the paper. Which means these arrows, even though there's, multiple lengths. Now, I measured these in the lengths in metric just because I only had a metric measuring tape. I can't find my imperial one. Oh well. I'll convert it and put it below. It'll be both metric and imperial measurements when I do the description below my feet. So, for example, this one is 83.5 centimeters and it weighs 29 grams. This one is 80 centimeters and weighs 29 grams. This one is 80 centimeters and weighs 24 grams. This one is unmarked. Haha, forgot to mark that one, obviously. This one is 83 centimeters and 31 grams. And this one's 80 centimeters and 25 grams. Now, the points on these things are all over the map. They're just leftover stuff that I just put on because, it's a blank butt basement shooting bow. It's just for me to entertain myself and have fun. So none of these are consistent. Nothing. Right? But these 6 are reasonably consistent going through that paper. And I'm going to attempt to film it. If you're watching this, that means it worked. If you're not watching this, you won't know any better. But I will, because I will have learned a lesson. Your release influences how clean the arrow goes through the paper, whether it's tuned or not. But the spine of the arrow is very, very important. It's actually possible to have a foul release, but as long as your arrow is spined correctly, for it to still go through the paper quite well. It is possible. I'm not saying that it's going to happen every time. Nothing happens every time. We are talking about us. We are the archers. And none of us are robots. So, I will start with, these 6 arrows that I have here are split pretty evenly between Heritage 150s and the gold tips. So, I will shoot the 3 Heritage 150s first. I think the gold tips are actually the ones that were slightly better spined. So I'll start with the 3 Heritage 150s and shoot them through. If there is a tear, it'll be a very slight one. And that will probably have more to do with my release than the actual spine of the arrow, but we'll see. We'll see. Heritage 150, first one, nice and clean. Oh, that one had a slight tear to the right. but not a very big one. That's almost off to call clean. Yeah, not quite, but that could be just my release. This is the third of the 150s. Nice and clean. I'm moving them around to try and keep it so that we can actually see the different holes. And hopefully it's showing up on the camera I have set up below. Okay, now we're into the gold tips, which are 600 spot. Oh, slight tear. To the right. Alright, and here we go again. Oh, slight tear to the right. But still very, very consistent. Oh, now that one was dramatic. Quite the tear to the right. Top archery, 32-inch with blazers, which, yes, is not appropriate for what I'm doing, but I don't care. And it will be part of the kicking, but I'm doing this to show the drama of the cutting. And as you can see, the cut is just, and it's to the right, and that's a good 4-inch cut. That's not a small, like just, so it's way, way over spine for this very, very light bow. Do I have anything else? No, I don't have anything else, so we're not going to worry about that. So I'm going to do a few short experiments like that with other arrows and other bows to demonstrate the differences, and it's kind of cool. It really is, just to see it. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 of those 6 went cleanly through. 2 of them were Heritage 150s. 1 was a gold tip, and the combination of the point and the shaft length, it was spined well for this arrow, for this bow. And my release was clean enough to get it to go through. 3 of them were not, ever so slight to the right, but as when you look at the video, you will see that we're talking small. The distance to the paper is 2.5 meters? 2 meters, so a little over 6 feet. Maybe half, 2.5, so closer to the 7, but not far at all. But far enough for us to notice the difference and the flight of the arrow, which is basically, I guess, a continuation of the conversation I had in reference to the archer's paradox and the physics of the arrow flight and how different things can influence it. There is a common perception that with hatra, that you can compensate for this and still get a straight flight. That's really, really kind of tough. Maybe there are archers who can, but also you'd have to know what you're pulling up. So precision shooting or skill shooting or sport shooting, which is what we are doing now. And most of the stunt shooting that everyone references is that's what it was, sport shooting. Battlefield archery is not the same as what we do. It never will be. And God willing, none of us will ever actually understand and experience what battlefield archery really is. Because if we do, that means we're going to get hurt. Or potentially get hurt. Reenactment and experimental archaeology, that's all great and wonderful, but there are controls to keep you safe. On a battlefield, there ain't no controls to keep you safe. We do this for fun, and it's a sport. Keep having fun, guys.